welcome to Red Ted Art. Today we're going to have a go at making these patterned God's eyes. These are traditional ones, here are patterned ones. I'm going to show you how to make these, and we'll also link to how to make these. Now if you're new to the channel, every Monday and Thursday I have a new craft video for you. Sometimes there's some bonus videos. Please subscribe because you don't want to miss out in the future. Now to make these beautiful patterned God's eyes, you will need 3 sticks of sorts. I have 3 coffee stirrers here. If you're going to get them from the coffee shop, please buy something first. It's only polite. But you can also use straws. I've got an example here where I use straws. They're quite thick, but they look really fun. But it makes it a bit of a chunkier craft. But I can link to this. Or tell me in the comments if you want to know how to do it with 4. I've got 3 here and I quite like that as a number. Yes, so let's get started. Now if you haven't made the God's eyes before, have a go look at this tutorial over here. This shows you how to do the basic God's eye. It's really good to practice that first because that will make this a lot easier. So I'm going to get started. Let's see what colour we'll do in the middle. I think I might start with this sort of lighter turquoisey colour. To start off with, I just line these all up and knot it. You can do the same with straws. I know they'll be bulkier, or with sticks actually. Try and find some thin sticks if you are going to do it with sticks. But it does work. Obviously these coffee stirrers work really well because they're quite thin. So I'm going to give it a good knot, like so. Line them all up again. Now it's important with this craft to try and spread them out as neatly as possible. Don't worry about this, you can cut all that sort of stuff off later. Whilst with the other one, with the traditional God's eyes, if they're not evenly spaced, it doesn't matter. In fact, it adds to the overall effect. But with these ones, you want to have them spread out as equal as possible, and then you just wrap your wool around to kind of secure it a little bit, but you might have to still readjust them a bit as you go along at the beginning. So I've just wrapped it around the middle in no particular order, just gone round like so. So this is kind of just to set you off. So this is your beginning of a normal God's eye. So what we're going to do now is I'm kind of teaching you the basics again, but it's good, but like I say, practice first. But this is how the basic God's eye work. You take your yarn or your wool and you go over and round. Then you go to the next one, you go over and round. Next one, over and round. Now this is the basic idea of a God's eye. You go over, round, over, round, over, round. And then you keep going, and that's your basic idea. So again, like I was saying, watch the other video, learn how to do the basics, and all you have to remember is that you move over in the same direction and round in the same direction, and that's going to be key to doing this craft. So I'm now going to keep going and add a different colour, and again, if you watch the other video, you can see how you change colours, and then I'm going to show you how to do the next step of the pattern. Okay, so I've attached the new colour for the next step of the pattern. Now the key thing to remember when you're doing this God's eye is that it's really important to get the same amount of, so I've got 3 rows of blue, 3 rows, 3 rows, 3 rows, because you want it to have that kind of similar sameness. With the easier version, to be honest, it doesn't matter how often you do which row. If there's one more row on one side and the other, it doesn't matter. But when you're doing this pattern, I think it is really valuable to have it always the same. So 5 I think I did there, 3 here. Now I've got onto my next colour, and now I'm going to explain to you how the pattern works. So basically you have your 6 spokes. Previously in the traditional pattern we went from one spoke to the next and wrapped. This time we're going to go from here, wrap it the same way as before, but then instead of hopping over, we're going to go diagonally across here, and then we're going to wrap it here. So we're going to go down, and then we're going to go back up, and we're going to do that 3 times. So you're hopping this way. Once you've done it 3 times, you go to this one and you hop 3 times that way. Then you go to this one and hop 3 times that way. That gives you that petal shape. So let's have a look at what that looks like, okay? So I'm going to go opposite first, simply because that gives it a nice bit of tension on that last wrap. And like before, I'm going to come in, I'm going to go over and round, and instead of going over, I now need to go back to this side so I can go round that one. Okay, so I've done exactly the same. I go over and round like always, and instead of going over that side, I'm bringing the thread back round and over here. I'm lining it up. So wrap once, round, and instead of going to the next spoke, you go diagonally across to the spoke there. So I've done that 3 times now. So you could either go here now or here. I wouldn't go to these two, because if you go here for the next one, you kind of see this, the wool, and you don't want that. So you just go to the next spoke along, and you go over and round, just like with the other pattern, but it's always the same movement, always over and round, over and round, and you do that 3 times, and that's the beginning of your next pattern. So I've done that twice there, 3 times. So now I have to just do the last spoke. So if I turn it around, it's easier to see. I go round, so bring it behind, like so, up, like so, and there you have the next pattern completed once. Now I'm going to change colours again and add, another layer just to kind of have that flower shape before I go on to the 3rd pattern in order to create this patterned God's Eye. So I'll do that, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to do the 3rd pattern. Okay, so now I'm ready for the next pattern. Before I go into the next pattern, I just wanted to show you the back. So remember we said we were going over, back, you know, backwards and forwards. You can see that really neatly in the back. Can you see? Because it's gone up and down, up and down, up and down. So you can see that the pattern that basically explains how you get this. Also, if you're eagle-eyed, you would have noticed that I actually did 4 on this one rather than 3 on the white, mainly because my yellow is really thin. So to be honest, there's no rule. You don't have to do it 3 times or 4 times or 5 times. You do it however you like it. So now I'm going to go opposite again and wrap my round just to kind of give that a nice little tug, and then the pattern we're going to do this time looks like this. So I've got my line. This time I'm going from here, so I'm not going opposite, I'm not going next, I'm going to jump across. I'm going to jump across again, and as I jump across I'm going under the one that you've skipped. Okay, so you're going under and skip, and then you're going to go over, and then the same pattern you can repeat, and you go from this time you go here and under. And that's how the 3rd pattern works. You're always skipping one spoke. So I'm going to wrap round as before, nothing different. Skip it though, wrap round, yeah. So as before, skip one underneath and wrap round, exactly the same as before, skip one and go underneath. And again, you can do that as often as you want, 3 or 4 times. I think this yellow is quite thick, so I might do it 3 times, and then I'm going to change colours again. So you go under, wrap it round like you've done with all the other ones, wrap it round, and go under, wrap it round, go under, wrap it round, go under. There we go, and then a little wrap at the end. Now I'm going to change colours again. What colour should we have? I think I might go for some more of that green. That's quite thin, so we'll see. Now this time, so we've actually almost completed that. I've actually shown you all 3 patterns that we're using. Actually, no, I'm going to go for white and then go for green. But I just wanted to show you this last pattern one more time, because this time I'm going to change the order. It's still skip one, but instead of, you know, I'm going to skip the opposite ones this time. So just tighten that. I can just trim that off in a minute. So here I'd skip that one. So this time that's where I start. Okay, and you again go under, like so, and then you go under. Okay, and that's the 3rd pattern. Now I'm going to continue this, but I just wanted to show you on this one and on this one, depending on how big your sticks are. Here I've done the under pattern once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And then I've gone back to the traditional one, and I've done the opposites, so traditional, opposites, the shocking pink is opposites, and there's 3 times I've done the under one, and then I've gone back to traditional. Here I've done the under one only twice, so it really just, you need to just have a look at how your pattern's evolving, and you choose for yourself whether you want to do the under pattern 3 times, 4 times, 2 times. Have a look at how big your sticks are, how much space you've got left, and you know, just sort of go with what's happening with the pattern. But all I've had to teach you today is those 3 different patterns. So I'm going to now change colour. I'm going to do my under pattern one more time, and then I'm going to switch back to the traditional method, and then you can see what it looks like all finished. Right, so I've finished now. As you can see, I'm getting quite close to the edge. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut a little bit longer off. I want to use this, I'm keeping this so I can then hang it up. Obviously you can just tie it off, but the way I tie it off is just I wrap it round like so, and give it a little tug. And you can do that 2 or 3 times if you want, just to secure it. And then you've got somewhere to hang your God's eye, or something to hang your God's eye up with. Let's do it a second time. Now the thing to remember, there's 3 things to remember when you're making these God's eyes. One is you're always wrapping in the same direction, okay? So always that way, doesn't matter what pattern you're doing. The second one is you want to, in contrast to this one, you want to always make sure you're wrapping the same amount on each side. So 3, 3, 3, or 2, 2, 2. On this one, it doesn't matter so much, you won't notice. So always wrap the same way, always wrap the same amount of strands. Thirdly, you have to be as neat as possible on this one, because you do see all your every single wrap, so to speak. So you want them all neatly aligned, okay? Thirdly, what you can remember, there is a bit of give. You can tug a little bit and push a little bit to kind of make it fit a little bit. So those are things to remember. If you're not confident yet to have a go at this, it is actually really easy. Have a go at this video first, get used to it, get practicing, have fun, get into that rhythm, and then try out these different patterns. And then once you get the hang of it, you'll find that they're really easy and just as fun to make as the other ones. I think these colours are just simply stunning. So if you don't know Red Ted Art, if you haven't subscribed before, please subscribe. We'd love to see you here again soon. I've got videos every Monday and Thursday, lots of traditional crafts, lots of sort of character crafts, lots of different things for you to explore, and you know, hopefully you won't be disappointed. So give us a like, leave us a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what kind of things you'd like to see, and hopefully see you here on Red Ted Art again soon. Anyway, in the meantime, have a nice day. Bye.